So, Gayle dropped in the first over. West Indies won without loss, which will bring Evin Lewis down to face up to, is it going to be, yes, David Willey, and myself and John here, both of us a little bit unsure why he's on the side, but he is. When he's good, he's good. When he's bad, he's very average. Here he comes, left arm over, ball into Chris Gayle, and this one is big, away swinger, and Gayle has nothing to do with it.
I mean, there's a lot of shape on the ball, isn't there, Neil? But he doesn't bowl quickly, and so when the ball doesn't swing, he just gets smashed all over the place. I mean, he's very expensive. For me, he's neither batting a ball as a bowler, and therefore, and the other idea that he bowls at the death to me is mystifying. Really,
he's not a death bowler. He's not quick enough, is he? I mean, he does. I mean, you saw that ball there. He does swing a lot, and has got 3 slips there. So you'd expect to get the odd edge or two. This one is pitched up and it's been driven into the covers, or I say driven, just lent on really by Chris Gayle. He will pick up a couple here as it just reaches 3 parts of the way to the boundary. But yeah, I mean, he's basically, isn't he? He's a medium pacer, no more than that, who does swing it a lot when conditions are in his favour. And then, of course, he does have the habit of taking 1 or 2 early wickets. But like you said, coming back at the death when the batsmen clearly have their eyes, and he is meat and drink, isn't he?
He is. England's bowling leaves a lot to be desired, in this format, I think.
Yeah, I think that as Willey comes in for his 3rd delivery, and this was an in-swinger, and it's been clipped away leg side. And it's going to be a single out to Alex Hales, who's on the deep square leg boundary, one of the boundary riders. Good-looking shot there from Gayle. Yeah, I think it misses someone with the pace of, say, Mark Wood, who has played a few of these, but is injured more often than he isn't, who can bowl sort of 92, 93 miles an hour, and provides just a variation for the skipper just to call on him to take the odd wicket or 2.
Yeah, I mean, Plunkett aside, he can bowl quick, but even Plunkett now is getting to the veteran stage where perhaps he's not as expressive as he used to be. But Woakes, since he's come back, has been deadly average again in terms of pace.
In swinger from Willey again. It's been clipped away leg side to the mid wicket area. Certainly going to be 1. That's all they'll get as the man comes round. It's Hales again from square leg. So you get the impression here that both these batsmen just feeling their way into this innings. So Gayle has had a life already. He should be gone. But as we see some men, some dressed as monks, others dressed as Harry Potter. Not sure why you do that really in the middle of Manchester. But, there we go. It takes all sorts. Licorice. So Willey turns then at the end of his run up, just jogs in and accelerates into the crease. And this again is slanted in towards Chris Gayle, who just leans on it really and just trickles out to mid-on for no run. You just sort of sense with Gayle that he's just waiting for that shot, isn't he? I mean, he couldn't, 3rd ball he went for it, he couldn't contain himself. Just a huge push at the back, got the edge, dropped by Joe Root. But you just sense it's coming. There's no way that he can rein himself in. And
why would he?
Yeah.
He's not there to rein himself in, is he? He's there to flourish. And
he's not, but he's got 42 overs, so it's a little bit different, isn't it? But he just want to hang himself early on. Here comes Willey once again. This is pitched up, it's chipped over the top. I don't think he's got all of that, but he's got enough of it to go. Well, it's plugged. It's plugged, isn't it? It's not going to reach the boundary.
I tell you what, there's not many could get him close to the boundary with a leading edge.
Oh no.
I mean, that's not so much a bat, that's a tree, isn't it? It's been whittled. And I was hearing something the other day that his bat is going to be outlawed fairly soon. He's not standard size.
Not soon enough for these bowlers. Gets a couple though. It was he was looking more leg side, wasn't he? And he's got that leading edge or thickish outside edge, and it's gone way over the top of mid-off. There's never a chance of a catch, but had it been dry conditions, that would have gone for 4. It would have bounced and gone for 4, but
if we were looking after his kit, it would take 2 of us to hold that bat.
Absolutely, it's colossal, isn't it? End of the over. Not a bad over that from David Willey. I think he's conceded maybe has he conceded 5 there or 6 maybe? But he didn't actually bowl a bad ball really. 6 runs, yeah, but it was a pretty good over from Willey. So the good thing is there's a little bit of swing, but he was getting it more leg side. He needs to get it on that off stump line to try and get that edge with 3 slips waiting. Just 2 slips now as Woakes comes in for his 2nd over, bowling to Lewis. This is played away, backward point, and it's very close to the man at backward point, but he's got away with it. And it's flown down to 3rd man. They're going to get 2 runs, and this time Chris Gayle comes scampering back for his 2nd. after what happened in that T20.
Scampering.
For Chris Gayle anyway. Yeah. It's above a stroll, isn't it?
Yeah.
We saw him strolling to get run out in the last time, but
he's too cool to run, isn't he? And that's a problem throughout the West Indies team. I mean, even in the Test team, you know, the running between wickets was a bit of a joke at times, and everybody also is too cool to call. It's like, you know, the don'ts and the all that. Nah. They don't like to look each other in the eye, so a lot of the time they just get stranded, don't they?
Next ball is left alone by Lewis as Woakes hits a good line just around outside off stump, angling it across the left-hander, and there is no run. 9 without loss. We are in the third over. 42 overs each side due to the delay for the wet outfield. Sun's been shining pretty much all day, frustrating for the spectators, but we're finally underway and set fair now. It should be for a decent day's cricket. There's no forecast of any rain, so I believe, for the rest of the day, and that's good news. Seeing Lewis batting very deep in his crease as Woakes comes in once again. This is played away pretty much from the crease to the leg side. It's going to be just a single out to mid-wicket area. We'll bring Gayle down on strike.
It's good to see Rashid in the team. Be interesting to see if you know, spin can play any part really, and also if the leggy, if he doesn't, can sort of you know, play a containment role. In most formats, I think I'd have Rashid playing for England.
Yeah, his trouble is with the Test matches. Moeen's doing so well, isn't he? As a spinner, but as Woakes comes in, Chris Gayle takes a swipe at this one. He's got some of it up and over, and it's 1 bounce and 4. Yeah, it was an ugly looking shot, but it's a shot that he plays so well. He withdraws his front leg, opens up, and he tries to smash it down the ground. Now, if he'd timed that would still be in the air because he took such a big swish, but he just basically clubbed it from somebody the splice of the bat, I reckon. The bat's turned in his hand, but he's so powerful that it's gone up and over mid-on. It's taken 1 bounce and trickled into the boundary ropes. But, I mean, again, he's not timed it, has he, at all?
No, he's monstered it, he's mullered it, and it's off the bottom of the bat. Another day, a different time, he'd be caught. But because of power play, nobody there, and he gets away with murder. But that's why it's got that big plank of wood. Any kind of contact, any decent contact, and it flies. We saw a leading edge nearly go for 4. That one sliced off the bottom of the bat, but still travels. And Gayle is 10 from 11, and how typical is that? He's not even got going yet.
Yeah, it's a shot he's made his own, that one, hasn't it? This next one, smashed away. This one's going all the way. That's enormous. That's somewhere in the crowd. It was further pitched up this time by Woakes, and so Gayle didn't have to withdraw his front leg and sort of club it off the back foot. He waited for it, and he just swung through the line of the ball. It's a shot he's played so many times. It was in his half, and he plays to it, and if he connects, you know where it's going to go. Look at this again on replay. It's basically stand and deliver. There's no foot movement. He doesn't have to. His eye is so good, and he just watches it. It goes high into the sky. And, whereas the first one was a miss hit, that wasn't.
Well, if you asked him where do you prefer the ball to be, it would be right where Woakes delivered it, wouldn't it?
Pretty much so, yeah. He just put it in a parcel and delivered it to him, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a sit-up and beg delivery, really, and it got what it fully deserved. He steps out of his crease, doesn't he, and there's a lovely flourish through it. I mean, he's such a strong man, but that's a big hit, and that's what the crowd have paid to watch. Big sixes from this free-scoring West Indian side.
3 slips still in. I think that could be a little bit ambitious as Woakes comes in and he steps away again, smashes it. This is going to go for 4 more. I fancy up to mid-on. The chase is on, but Willey won't get there, and that was one of those shots again where he withdraws that front leg to open up the space. It was shorter from Woakes. He's trying to counteract the shot down the ground, but this time, of course, he's just played his own game, his own sort of shot again. Takes away that front leg and almost playing it French cricket style. And of course there's so much room down there because of the fact that the power play is on. He's only got to get it past the mid-on fielder and it's 4 runs.
There is some degree of good news about what's just happened, and that is that Woakes is actually bowling a bit quicker. Now, the long and short of it is when he bowled well for England, when he made his breakthrough, if you like, it was because he'd found 2 or 3 MPH. He's just come back from injury, and in the first Test match back, he looked poor. He
shouldn't have played, should he?
No, he shouldn't, and he looked back to where he was, moderate 86 mile an hour tops bowler. But there he's bowling about 88, 89 miles an hour, which augurs well. The bowling wasn't good, but it was quick. And, he needs to ally that with just a little bit more sort of strategy and putting it where he wants, and then he's got it. But it's good to see that Woakes can bowl that quickly again, coming back from his injury, and I'm sure he's put a lot of effort into finding that bit more speed.
Indeed, he's going to need to try a few variations though against this Powell, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
If he just keeps bowling it quick, it's going to go off the bat even quicker. He's going to have to start finding some variations. Here comes Willey once again. That's a cracking delivery. They're appealing for leg before wicket here.
Ooh.
And it's been turned down by umpire Tim.
Well, that must have been close. I mean, where he pitched on line, went straight on. It didn't look that high. He's got a lot going for it, that delivery.
It has. Willey's actually I can see him mouthing the word height there towards Eoin Morgan, saying, was it too high? And it's basically squared him up. It's an excellent delivery. It's swung away. It's swung in. That's nipped away, and he's played it.
It's on the back pad as well. I mean,
I think it is too high. Yeah.
It's a shade too high.
It is.
It hits him on the back pad. He's just about hopping over.
It may have clipped up. It would have been umpire's call.
Exactly, exactly. Which is why, for me, umpire's call's daft. Really, he either hits or it doesn't. But probably was hopping. They haven't shown us it.
So Willey in once again, and this is swung away a leg side. It's going out towards the man there, but he's just landed before Alex Hales, who was coming in from the deep square leg boundary. It's bounced maybe about 5 yards before the Nottinghamshire man, and Lewis gets away with it. It was a false shot. He got underneath it, didn't he?
Yeah, it was in the air a long time, and you always think, oh well, come on, somebody must catch that. But in the end, actually looking at it, he missed timing it, but it was quite flat. He didn't just hang up on the breeze forever and allow Hales to get round.
The fact that he mistimed it saved him. Otherwise, it would have reached. Hales. So that means that Chris Gayle is back down, and I'm sure David Willey will enjoy bowling to the big man, who looks like he's got his eye in now. He's already a fifth of a way to 100 off 13 deliveries on 20. 2 fours and a 6 so far. There's a slight field change. That man going way back to the deeper mid-on boundary. Here comes Willey bowling to Gayle. Leg side, always a good delivery. It squared him up, and it's got a leading edge, and it's found its way to backward point. He was aiming just to tickle it round the corner, really, leg side, but it's certainly a little bit of movement. And we're going to have a look at this replay now of the LBW, and it was going over the top actually by quite a lot, by about 3 or 4 inches over the top. So good decision not to review. Yeah,
it's right. I mean, he was worried about height, and he was right to be. It was just flicking right over the top, but it was a good delivery. Hit him on the back pad. It was a thought for the umpire, but a good decision in the end.
So Willey now has a gully as well, 3 sips and a gully, and he's not going to need a gully for that, because that's been chipped down the ground by Chris Gayle, and he would need a gully if he was in the stands, wouldn't you, for that one? That's 6 more to the big West Indian, and no backlift, no follow through. He just like shoveled it down the ground. It's how does he do it?
Well, he does it very comfortably, because that one is pitched short, and it gives him a lot of time to flourish through that. It's just not a good delivery. We said he's not quick. When he throws it in short, he's got plenty of time to pick his spot. Now Plunkett's right on the rope where that ball sails over, but he's such a strong man, it's always going to clear him.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, does it? You can have him where you want to. If he's like this, it's always going to go over. Willey again, down the leg side. This is going to be called a wide. It certainly is.
Well, he's running away now. Like brave Sir Robin, isn't he, or whatever it is. But, you want to try and avoid him now. So Gale's won already, hasn't he? 26 from 15, but that's the art of one-day bowling. You've got to be evasive sometimes.
Yeah, and of course he shouldn't be there. Joe Root should have held on to him in the first over third delivery. He was dropped by Joe Root at second slip. A comfortable chance, really, at this level off Chris Woakes. Willey then for his next delivery. Willey or won't he? The answer, that's a cracking delivery. And I think it's taken him on the back pad. It squared him up, and he's missed it. He's just trying to defend it, Chris Gayle. I think he's just clipped his back pad or his thigh pad or something, and it ended up in the slip somewhere. But it was a fantastic delivery from Willey, and that's basically what he bases his bowling on, isn't it? That little bit of nip.
Well, I mean, good line and length. Maybe it's a little bit short again, but yeah, it hits him on the thigh pad, doesn't it? Just top of off stump, really, and it's a better delivery. But again, it's a bit short.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to pitch up, does he? You can understand why. If he's going to get smashed down the ground, here he comes again. This is, oh my goodness, it's down the ground again. It's pitched up, that's never going to come down. That's in the top tier. That's a huge shot from Gayle.
Well, I could hear the air raid warning go off there, because you said he daren't pitch it in the slot. Yeah. And we saw just exactly why. I mean, that one was meat and drink. It was right in the slot for him to hit. And he's absolutely monstered this one. I mean, for him, it's only a jab. That
it's effortless, isn't it?
Yeah. Effortless. I mean, that's so easy. But like you said, it's certainly, I think, the third tier. But I mean, he could have cleared this stand to be picking that up in the street. I mean, that's if he flourishes through it. That just seemed to be a jab.
Well, he never really seems to open his shoulders. He doesn't need to. 38 for no wicket. We've had 4 overs. Chris Gayle's got 32 of them off 17 deliveries. Evin Lewis, yeah, he's still out there on 5 from 7. And, well, these opening bowlers, Woakes 0 for 18 from 2 and Willey 0 for 20 from 2.
I mean, it's like back in the day. I mean, now we'll just break off for a second.
Here comes Woakes, and this is outside the off stump. It's been just off the back foot from Lewis. They want to keep Lewis on strike, don't they? No run.
I mean, he's a character, isn't he? It sort of reminds me in cricket stances like W.G. Grace, Chris Gayle. You know what I mean? He's sort of you'll know that you've seen him. Very distinctive style, huge man, and you know that sort of helmet with the thing coming off the back of it as well. He's very much his own man.
Box office, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you would pay good money just to watch him hitting the ball so hard.
Here goes Woakes once again, and Lewis off the back foot punches it. Oh, that's a good looking shot, and this is going to run to the boundary as well from Evin Lewis, and that is probably one of the shots of the day. Okay, we can say Gayle's down the ground, but that was a perfectly timed back foot punch, and there's 2 men in the covers, and he's completely bisected them.
Well, look, the point about this one is it's a proper cricket shot, isn't it? I mean, he punches it through the gap. He's uncertain himself, but he picked a spot there. You know, he's safely housed because he's played it into the ground, but there's enough momentum and timing on that shot that he goes for 4.
It certainly does, and if it's not coming from one end, it's coming from the other. Maybe Lewis doesn't pose such a threat in terms of smashing the ball for 6, but Gayle's hit 3 6s so far and 2 4s. And well, at the moment, 42 off 4.2. So you do the maths. Next ball is left alone by Lewis as Woakes ball's 184.5 miles an hour on and around off stump, and it just through to the keeper for no run. Run rate of 9.33. So it has to be said they are taking advantage of the power play to no uncertain terms. But that's the thing, you see, Gayle's had a life. If Gayle had been out now, this wouldn't be happening. He is the one man on either side, really, who can do this. Yes, you've got the likes of Josh Buttler can hit a long ball, and a few England, and of course Ben Stokes, but this is something special. Lewis waits then, in comes Woakes, and it's around off stump. It's been just a check drive, really, into the mid-off area, wide mid-off, and there's no run. Run rate drops down to just 9 and over.
Yeah, it's T20 until he's out, isn't it, really? I mean, that's just it. For England, they couldn't afford to drop him, could they? And that could be the difference between winning and losing, really. You've got to hold on to your catches. England have been quite, well, reasonable in the field, I would have said, throughout the summer, the Test series and what have you. But that was a bad drop, really, from Joe Root.
There used to be someone watching it in bed. I don't know if that's some sort of special feature at Old Trafford. Maybe Jonny can enlighten me as Woakes comes in again. Slower ball. He's picked up the edge here of Lewis's bat, and he's going to get a single down to third man.
Yeah, I think one of the big sponsors. I think for the Test match there might have been 2 or 3 beds dotted around the ground, and so they've done it before. It seems a weird way to even want to watch a match, isn't it?
It does really, yeah. Woakes' last ball, a decent one, a slower one. But that's brought Chris Gayle down. Just 1 ball to go this over. England won't mind this if they're only bowling 1 ball at Chris Gayle. However, there's every chance it's going to go out the ground. So Gayle waits and Woakes in for his final delivery of this over. It's a good ball. It's another slower ball, and it has the batsman here just groping forward it, playing and missing defensively, and that's what they want to do. A nice smile there from Chris Woakes.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was good line and length. I don't know if he put on or took off pace there, but
did, yeah.
I mean, in the end, it just has to be defended. He can't smash everything, you know. Some line and length has got to be good that he can't launch out the ground. I think when they're on the defensive too much, they forget that just good line and length is as good as any, and then you start messing about.
Well, talking about messing about, there's going to be a big change now because Eoin Morgan has seen enough of the ball being smashed out the ground. He's going to gamble bringing on his frontline spinner Moeen Ali.
I think it's a good move, really. I mean, he still could get launched out the ground.
Well, he could do, but at least it's taken the pace off the ball, isn't it? So
exactly, and a lot of the time we saw, Australia like to go after Ali, and a lot of time it's miss hits and caught. You know, you don't need the players on the boundary necessarily for the miss hits that he induces. If he can get a bit of spin, it's those that don't necessarily carry that far. obviously there are plays out in the rope, but yeah, he's a good bowler in the circumstance, I think, and it's a good change by the skipper.
Well, Joe Root was used in the first over of the ICC Champions Trophy final against the West Indies and took 2 wickets, including Chris Gayle. Of course, they went on to blow it when Brathwaite hit 4 consecutive sixes, but this is shortish by Moeen, and it's going to be a single. Moeen tries to come and stop a single around about mid-wicket area, but he can't do so, fielding off his own bowling, and that's got Gayle down. He probably want to bowl to Gayle, I think, because he'll fancy his chances. If there's a little bit of spin out there, then Gayle will be susceptible, because there's no doubt that he's going to go for it.
Well, exactly. I mean, he's not going to die wondering, is he? So that's just it. Like we said, he can induce the miss hit, and we'll be hoping that can happen.
There's a slip in place, and this is just angling towards the legs, and it's going to be just a single, as Gayle just does no more than leans on the ball and just tucks it to the mid-wicket area, and they scamper through as much as they can do with Gayle at the crease for another single.
I mean, and if you're Lewis as well, happy enough just to feed the monster, aren't you? Just run singles and let him have a go at the other end.
Absolutely. Oh, this is far too short. Whoa! He's caught him, and he's got a wicket. It was a dreadful delivery, and Lewis is gone. It was a long hop, a ranked long hop from Moeen Ali, and it was smashed away to square leg. And I think it's Hales with the catch, isn't it? It was a good catch, but he's completely hung himself there. He could have hit that anywhere he wanted on the back foot, smashed it away straight to square leg, and a good catch by Alex Hales. And the first wicket's down, but that's a bit of luck there, isn't there? Good catch.
I think that you've got to know where your field is. When Lewis looks to hit that, weirdly enough, because he's rolled his wrists over it, he's kept it quite flat.
Yeah.
I mean, had he given it the kitchen sink and flourished over that, he would have chipped it straight over the head of Hales, and it would have been a candidate for 6, never mind 4. But you think he's going to fetch the ball, and he's not really looking at the fielder. By the time, you know, he's hitting the ball, he's probably thinking that's a bit close to him. But because he was trying to play it down, I feel, and he didn't get on top of it. So it's poor technique from him off what was a pretty poor ball. But there you go, sometimes the bad ball does get the wicket.
It does. You see it so often with spinners, John. If a seamer bowls a bad ball, it goes for 4. Spinners bowl a bad ball, quite often the batsman's eyes light up and it's caught. It happens so often.
I don't think he necessarily had a bead on where the field was and what he wanted to do with that. But like you said, it's like he can't miss out, he can't pull out of that. Well, after all, it's short and wide. I'm going to hit this into the back of beyond, he thinks. And then, you know, should I chip it up in the air? Well, he'd seen a couple of... he saw a couple of fielders on the ropes, didn't he, out on that boundary. So he's thinking, right, well, I'll roll my wrist. And by the time all those thoughts have been had, he's thinking, oh, dearie me. There's a man there, and it was Hales. It was a good catch because he really caught hold of it, but it was quite a comfortable catch as well. As Shai Hope, he's a good batsman. We saw that in the Test series, and you know he comes to the fore. He wouldn't necessarily be somebody you'd throw in T20, but he's a very good cricketer. He's a bit like Joe Root playing in the T20 team, if you like. You know, a good stroke player. Should always be room for a good cricketer in limited overs.
Yeah, it can hold things together if wickets do tumble at the other end, and that's exactly what he'll do. I mean, right now, of course, all he should be doing, and I'm sure he will be, is if it's a bad ball, hit it for 4. If not, just get Chris Gayle on strike. Slip in then, as Moeen will continue from over the wicket to the right-hander, who comes forward and just plays an exquisite forward defensive out to the man at short extra cover for no run. Yeah, we know all about him and New England from the Test match series, especially from the one at Headingley. As this one is just a little bit shorter from Moeen, and it has Hope on the back foot and punching it back down to the bowler himself for no run. Moeen now with the shaved head, but not the shaved beard. He's getting through his over fairly rapidly. He's in once again. This again is a little bit short. Flick of the wrists by Shai Hope, and it goes out to the deep mid-wicket area where David Willey will do the fielding. Keeps him down to just a single. And that's exactly what England wanted, keeping Gayle off strike, because that was the final ball of the over. It's almost like a tactic, isn't it? Give him one off the final ball. But, just looking at that replay again, yeah, it was just a lazy shot from Lewis. It was a bad ball. I thought, oh, that's going to the boundary. They just picked out Alex Hales' hands at mid-wicket. Yeah,
and when you look in slow-mo, it looks dead easy, doesn't it? But at full tilt, yeah, that was a decent catch. Big grin on Hales' face. He's been tearing it up for knots, hasn't he, in the T20 Blast this season particularly. But there we go, Ali, 1 over, 1 for 3. And you've got to pat the skipper on the back for bringing him in.
Yeah, I think he had little choice, but it was a good decision to make. Marlon Samuels in next. Should be just in, hopefully, when Ben Stokes comes on to bowl. That'll be interesting. And Mohammed, Powell, Holder, Nurse, Bishoo, Taylor and Williams. So lots depending on these big top order players for the Windies. And the Woakes is going to continue. And what for 23. So here he comes once again, and he's bowling to the right-hander. Oh, he's got an edge here. Oh, he's just fallen short of the man at. I think it may. Does it come off the pads even? I'm not sure. The umpire says it might have been an appeal for leg before. Let's have a look at this. I'm not sure whether he's edged it or it's come off the bat. We're going to have to.
Well, it doesn't look like Joe Root's looking to marsh his troops to talk about an appeal. It looked to me like whatever he was just didn't carry, but we'll take another look. And
yeah, it was a decent ball. Let's have a look at this. I'm not sure, we couldn't see from that angle, but it certainly didn't reach Joe Root at first slip. But let's have a look at this again. No, it's come off his thigh pad. I think he's missed everything. He's played an odd shot, really, so he's played around it, really, not with a straight bat, and it's flicked his thigh pad, and then it's a good stop from Joe Root. Next one is leg side. That's a cracking shot. That's through mid-wicket area. There's a man out there, so it'll keep him down just to single, but he's on his pads too much there, Woakes, and allowing him just to flick it away. That brings Gayle down. That's what the crowd want to see, probably. I think even the English crowd want to see him back.
You want to see the best in the world perform.
I want to see it.
I mean, honestly, you want to see the best cricket you can watch, and excitement. You want to see the ball clearing the boundary rope, and we like West Indies anyway, don't we? Not entirely neutral in this because we do a lot of England, but West Indies are good to watch.
Here comes Woakes bowling to Gayle, and it's just jabbed away to backward point. Oh, there's a bit of a mishap. If he hits, he's gone, but he's missed.
I tell you what, he's just so lackadaisical. He clips that one away and he thinks, I don't have to run. And then he's reminded, yes, you do. As soon as the fielder gets on it, then he has to start moving. He looks like, again, he's had loads of problems with his hamstring, hasn't he? And again, I think he could be hamstrung there.
Would have been miles out, wouldn't it? I think he might have damaged his leg here, actually. Because, there was never really a single on there, especially for someone like Gayle. The hope was halfway down the track, and
when he pulls up, he grimaces and, is it a smile? I don't know. I think he maybe thought he'd beat the fielder, but he's had loads of problems, and they're just flexing his leg.
Here comes Woakes to hope, and it's going to be no run this time as he just plays it off the back foot into the covers. And I think they've just got to be careful, haven't they, with Gayle? The last thing they want is him to get an injury. He's definitely feeling the back of his right leg. Any time that he has to sprint, it tends to go, doesn't it? And
you want to jog. Well, he doesn't really ever go quickly, does he? But
the trainer's going to be coming on. You can just see the.
Yeah, it's a worrying sign, really. I mean, it's hard to play if essentially one of your legs doesn't work properly. Although he didn't do too much.
Here comes Woakes bowling to Hope, and this is played down to third man, and this is going to be a jog single. In Gayle's case, it's pretty much a walk single, but he gets down the other end. Yeah,
I mean, he's almost stopping, isn't he? There's a real economy of movement from him anyway. And he's coped with this problem for the longest time, but it doesn't help him.
No, it'll just mean really that he's got to tee off even more. He's not going to be running any ones or twos, so he's just going to stand there and swing the bat, I'd imagine, which is probably bad news for England. Here comes Woakes, and it's leg side. It's a slower ball, and finds an outside edge, trickles down to a backward point, and there is no run. It's just 74 miles an hour, so taking a considerable amount off that, Chris Woakes, and that's the end of the over. A decent over from Woakes. Just don't know how many runs from that.
Well, Shai walks slowly toward Gayle in the middle as Gayle walks to him. You think, well, help him out a bit. You want to meet him more than halfway if he's struggling like that, don't you? But anyway, the two have a fist bump. 49 for 1 after 7 overs. Run rate 7, and it looked like it was going to be more than that. Lots of Chesterfield sweets out in the stand as well. Weird. Anyway, all part of the bar set up there at Old Trafford, where it's a lovely sunny day.
Moeen's in, bowling to Hope, who's on the back foot and just shuffles across his crease and spoons it into the leg side, but gets no run.
This is going to really cut off the supply of singles. If they have to think twice about every single single that they go for, then they're not going to get many of them, are they?
Next ball is just played away, same position, but this time it's just got it a little bit wide of the man at mid-on. There'll be a single here this time, to hope.
And every time a fielder picks up the ball, they throw it straight to the end that Gayle's running to.
Yes, indeed, there's every chance of a run out, isn't there? Gayle's out there. Well, he's on strike now, and Moeen Ali's the bowler, so if Moeen wants to toss one up and let him have a go, I'm sure that Mr. Gayle will oblige. It's whether he nails it or not is the big question. We're in the 8th over, 50 for 1, the West Indies. Having won the toss and elected to bat first, Gayle is waiting now and just smashes it down past Moeen, down to the man at long on. It was a shortish ball from Moeen, and Gayle finally gets to the other end. He sort of walks there and has to sprint for the last little bit as the throw comes in. Yeah, that was not timed or anything, but it was just a case of it's short. It's got to go for runs, and all he could do was just smash it straight back past the bowler. But yeah, I think he is struggling with a little bit of a hamstring tweak. I don't think it's too bad, but I think we are going to see the trainer come on, the physio, call him what you like fairly soon. Moeen bowls to Hope, who just plays it back to the bowler himself for no run. Moeen keeping a nice tight line to the right-hander. Doesn't appear to be much spin out there at the moment. This one is a little bit shorter, and it's just punch leg side. Will they take a single here? The answer is no. Went straight to the man at mid-wicket. Return comes to Buttler very quickly. England doing a good job of starving Gayle at the strike in the last 2 or 3 overs, because it's the final ball of the over now.
Well, run rate now down to 6.5, so they've done a good job.
Well, this one is a false shot from Hope. He's looking to play it offside. He's played it leg side as he sort of give it a little bit too much right hand. And it trickles out to mid-on for no run. And that's the end of a decent over from Moeen Ali, just two runs from it.
Funny, isn't it, how the game was going? I mean, they got off to a great galloping start, didn't they, West Indies? When Willey was bowling, getting smashed all over, change of personnel, a change of luck, 1 wicket, and all of a sudden, it's not exactly a tourniquet, but a turn of fortunes with 1 wicket for England, then seemingly a hamstring injury for Gayle. And now the run rate looks sort of, not exactly commonplace, good, but not stellar, and yeah, England seem to be fighting back.
So here comes Woakes for his 5th over, 0-26 so far. Gayle just drops back into his crease and eases it out into the covers, but any chance of a quick single was... well, there was no chance of a quick single because it was Gayle, basically. I think he thought about it, but he was on the back foot as well. So the score remains on 51 for 1. So Woakes in then for his next delivery, and this is high in the air. I don't think he's got all this. If there's a fielder there, he could be out, but there is no fielder there, so he's survived. He's hit it into no man's land. Hales was running after it, and he's come back for 2. He's clearly struggling a little bit, is the big man, but that was just an up and over extra cover sort of swat. It was a slower ball from Woakes, but he got plenty of wood on it to get it high and up over the infield. That's one of his first false shots really of the day.
Yeah, and it just dropped over the shoulder of the fielder. Gayle gets back, there's a throw there, and Buttler might have taken it in and put him under a bit of pressure, but he didn't feel it. Wasn't a great throw either. And well, Morgan having a word with his bowler. 4.2 overs have cost 28 runs so far.
Yeah, he's been in the eye of the storm, hasn't he? As Woakes, as was David Willey. Just one slip in now as he comes into Gayle once again, and Gayle withdraws his front leg and tries to sort of flat bat it down the ground, but can't get much on it. Under edge really, and it trickles out to mid-off for no run. Just get the impression though that Gayle now is just trying to hit everything for 4, and I mean he pretty much does anyway, but does he have the leverage in those legs to actually go for the big one, you know, the 6 down the ground, because obviously you have to put a lot of pressure on your legs by playing those shots, but I'm not sure this is going to last too much longer with Chris Gayle out there, which will be a shame from a neutral point of view. So Woakes in then for the 4th ball of his 5th over. Gayle waits and punches it off the back foot. I don't think there'll be a run here either. There isn't. Finds its way to extra cover. 53 for 1. 42 over game this one because of a delay due to a wet outfield. Evin Lewis, the man who is back in the pavilion. Here comes Woakes. This is pitch time. It's gone high in the air. This could be out. Is there a man under it this time? The answer is yes, there is. That's a cracking catch, and he's gone. I thought it wasn't going to last very much longer. Is it David Willey?
Joe Root.
It's Joe Root, in fact. And he got underneath at that time. It went out to a similar area, but this time it went a little bit higher. And Joe Root, running back, has taken a diving catch over his head, one of the hardest things to do in cricket. And that is the end of a very, very promising innings from Chris Gayle, which may have been hampered by a hamstring problem towards the end, but just did not quite get enough of that.
No, I mean, he slightly mistimed it. And like you said, Root only eyes for the ball, but he's running to make up ground. There's never a point where he's able to stop and settle on it. He's still running when he picks it up over his shoulder. He mightn't be looking into the sun. I mean, it's a great catch. Obviously, he would have liked to catch him or caught him a little bit early with his first chance, but he's made amends for that. I think for Gayle, as soon as the leg went, his form went a little bit, and the idea that he was going to be around for a long time, that kind of injury, I think, makes you desperate as a cricketer. And we know he's going to fling the bat anyway. Whatever was said to Woakes before that last couple of deliveries by Morgan, be interesting to find out what that was, but maybe he just said take the pace off the ball, and I think he did that. So anyway, certainly good news for England, and well, they might go on and win the game, but there's loads of batting for West Indies, and they don't need to worry just yet.
No, they certainly don't, but it's the big man out, and that brings in Marlon Samuels for the subplot. His tete-a-tete with Ben Stokes, who I'm sure will be on fairly soon. Marlon Samuels is a sort of batsman who can really build an innings, and there's plenty of overs to go, so don't expect him to go too gung-ho at the start. He likes to build an innings and run his ones and twos. Then he hits his boundaries as well. 5,000 ODI runs, 10 hundreds to his name, so he knows how to bat, this man. Run rate now down to 6. That's a little bit more realistic, isn't it? It was up to 9.9 I wanted, or 10 at one stage. So Woakes bowling to Hope, and this is a good looking ball which is played back to the batsman, to the bowler himself, and there is no run as he half stops it. So that's the end of the opening power play. 9 overs this time because of the restrictions due to the fact that we started late, and it's only a 42 over per side game. Just seeing a few highlights of the power play, which pretty much is just looking at a highlights package from Chris Gayle. So 2 wickets fall in those first 9 overs. Both openers are now gone. Delay.
Yeah, I've seen 3 big sixes from Chris Gayle, one of them absolutely huge.
He's bowling his left arm medium pace to Samuels. As you say, it will now look a different game with Gayle gone. Camera, of course, focusing on Ben Stokes. First ball left alone by Samuels, through to Buttler, no run. Yeah, there is genuine. They genuinely don't like each other, these two, on or off the field. And
no, there's history there, but I think for me, as good a cricketer as he is, he's not the sharpest tool, Ben Stokes, and he'd lost a battle of wits with Marlon quite a long time ago. So probably for me, he should let his cricket do the talking, and hopefully he can do today.
Here comes David Willey, bowling to Marlon Samuels, who waits for the ball, just puts it around the corner onto the leg side, and there'll be a single as the man comes in from the mid-wicket boundary.
I mean, Marlon's a cool cookie, isn't he? I think they were sledging him one day when he was playing against England a long time back. He said, excuse me, he said, I'm trying to get back-to-back centuries. Yeah, and that was it, and they all laughed, and of course just left him be. But
that's a showstopper, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a cool guy, I think.
Maybe when the dust settles on their career, they'll make up. This next ball is a good ball from Willey, moves away slightly, and it has the batsman Shai Hope just playing a backward defensive shot into the gully area, and there is no run.
There's a lot to be said for a bit of aggression sometimes, and But when all's said and done, I think I like the Bolton idea. You meet everybody in the bar afterwards and just crack on. You know, you're all brothers in a way. Some people just don't rub along that well, do they? I remember Donald and Atherton. That was always a bit fiery, wasn't it?
It was.
I don't necessarily think they were mates.
Next ball is a good ball from Willey. A bit quicker. It's gone under the bat, and it's a Yorker, but it's missed the off stump. Shai, I hope, tries to sort of carve it away. He can get no bat on it, and it goes through to Buttler for no run. Score remains 54 for 2, and England well back in this game now. Wickets always slow the run rate down, and when one of them is the most destructive batsman in world cricket, then it helps matters.
It was a good catch by Joe Root, and I mean, you know, he catch it over his shoulder running, then when he goes to ground, you know, that can dislodge the ball out of your hands too.
Next ball is played back to Willey himself, and who fields, and there is no run. Yeah, it's a double whammy, isn't it? Once you've caught it, when you get on the ground, it can easily jolt it out, can't it? I suppose maybe helped by the fact that it's soft ground, and so he just basically slid along, didn't he? Like someone just scored a goal. So Manchester Trams come past. Final ball then of the Willey over. Just one run from it so far. Next ball is slashed away down to third man, so there's going to be a single here where Adil Rashid does the fielding. And that's the end of an excellent over from Willey. It was 0 for 20 off 2, 0 for 22 from 3, so he's pulling it back, and that is good to see from an England point of view. So an entertaining first 10 overs. I'll hand you over now to John, who's going to take you through the next 10. What will it bring?
Oh, there'll be all sorts going on, and yeah, I mean, so far so good. I think the spectators have been enjoying themselves, and seen a bit of big hitting. One days do get. I want one days to be 40 overs anyway. I think 50 overs is overkill. There's always 10 overs of boredom that might as well cut out. Allows players to get their centuries. Obviously, that's because of you know, the wet conditions underfoot that brought us a delayed start. But it always seems like a long slog. They can't get through, you know, 80 overs a day Test match cricket in time, and then you think, oh yeah, we'll do 100 for one day. Seems a lot. Rashid pulls out of his delivery, and I don't know what was on his mind then, but I think it was the bowler rather than the batsman pulling away.
Replacing Moeen, isn't he? So spinner for spinner.
Oh, good to see Rashid bowling to Shai Hope, who's 5 from 17. And plays that one off the back foot, but just prods it forward straight to a fielder, and the man at mid-off can pick it up. 55 for 2. The run rate was incredible to start with, and now at 5.5 and over, it's like Test match cricket. Next ball hit back to Rashid, who misfields it, but no run to be had. Shai Hope looks like a Test cricketer today, 5 from 19. Needs to pick up the pace, but he's not that kind of guy, really. He hasn't got all sorts of expansive scoring shots. A good solid player, but it's another dot ball, and if the leggy can keep it tight, then anybody can, really. Typically, you'd expect that one loose delivery, the action means that the ball can get out of his hand, but for the fourth delivery of the over, and that's a good one. I mean, he's pitching it around middle stump, and that one then spins to the off stump fairly quickly as well. I mean, Hope had to deal with that. Next delivery, and this one, I would have said slightly over pitched, and it's drilled through the covers, but there is a man a bit deeper. Plunkett picks it up, and the damage is reduced to just one single. 5 balls and just one off it. It's all gone just a little bit sleepy hollow out there.
Well, Hope 6 from 22. I mean, it's a different game, isn't it? Chris Gayle was just going on a ridiculous strike rate, and it just shows that the mere mortals, England haven't bowled that well, haven't bowled that badly to him. Ben Stokes staring down Samuel's there from slip.
Next delivery and hit off the back foot, but just another single, 2 off the over. That's pretty good for my money. I mean, you know, when you look at the bowling, and to some extent they've all done all right. Woakes has got a wicket, corner rate 5.5. You know, Moeen Ali 2 overs, 1 for 5, brilliant. And then you've got the anomaly, haven't you? 3 overs from Willey, cost 22 runs. You know, if that was Wood bowling, or I don't know, to open the ball in, I just don't feel that would have happened. But you never know. You never know. I guess Finn and Jordan and other players like that maybe come into the equation. Give Broad and Anderson a rest. 57 for 2. I think England need to look at some of those who might be going on the Ashes tour as well, as his next delivery squirts off the bat, picked up back with a point. It's Willey bowling to Samuels. They seem to have got their mindset. Eoin Morgan's, one-day team has got Willey in it. It seems like he comes part and parcel, but for me, stats don't back it up really.
Yeah, it's one of those that it either works or it doesn't it? He can be good on occasions. That's why he's there. Performs well at county level.
Next delivery and just worked away for the leg stump. Buttler has got to go chase it, then he misfields it. He might as well have not bothered. But they take the single and they're not going to run on the misfield. 58 for 2, and the run rate almost down to 5. Might not be enough, but they've got plenty of batting still to come. Nurse, Powell, Holder, Mohammed, Bishoo, Taylor, Williams. Obviously, they're not quite the strong-arm T20 lineup. As this next delivery beats the batsman, it's a beauty, and
that's why he's in the side.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crack at that, and hope seemed to play down the wrong line.
Yeah, it might have nipped away slightly. It was a scrambled seam. I think it probably did just bit, didn't it, on the surface, and moved away slightly. Had the batsman. Didn't do too much, did it? But he did play another. Played inside it. Maybe he was playing for some movement that wasn't there, and so it looked as though it might have nipped away a little bit more. But Hope is he's struggling out there a bit, isn't he? Really,
he is struggling. So Willey comes in again to Shai Hope, and that one he finds a bit of an edge and goes through about first, second slip for 4.
Yeah, it's bottom of the bat, wasn't it? He's gone for a flat batted drive through the covers, and he's completely mistimed it. Got it off. I think probably the bottom of the bat. Let's see this on replay.
Look where his head's looking at there, where he hits that. I mean, that's gone nowhere near where he's hoping to play it.
Yeah, bottom edge, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, in that position, you're always going to get 4.
Yeah, he got dead lucky there, really. And Willey, on the flip side of that, unlucky. Not that it was a great ball or anything. Next delivery, and that one he's gone for the late cut then, and there is a man round the corner for that shot, but it hits the deck just before it hits the man, and that's Joe Root. Big smile on his face. I mean, maybe he stopped 4, like a third man who's up sort of position, isn't it? 1 ball left of the over. There's the Willey bowls to Shai Hope, who flicks it leg side, will take the single. I don't think they'll mind Hope keeping strike. Like you said, had been just having a little bit of a struggle out there, not being exactly fluent. Has had a good test series and had been one of the few successes out of the West Indies batting lineup, but it's a different story here today. Not sure that the damp outfield is doing that much really. I guess it makes the ball wet, and that makes it a bit more difficult for the bowlers. Been a bit of sunshine there today, but there hasn't been much wind, so it won't have dried the surface that much, will it?
It shouldn't have done, no. It's going to be wet all day, you'd have thought.
Rashid will bowl again, and this one prodded forward again, stopped by Root. And he around the pitch at the minute, but at mid-on. Shai Hope 11 from 27. Rashid Dent. Next delivery in the slot, and he's gone for this one. Takes a couple of bounces, but it will go for 4. Just over pitched that, and again a slot ball, and Shai Hope might have been struggling, but that was the ball he's been waiting for.
Yeah, he just felt, didn't he? That was tossed up a bit more by Rashid, and I think once it was up in his hitting zone, he felt he had to go for it. Just shows the difference there between Shai Hope and Chris Gayle. He gave it everything he got, and it still didn't reach the boundary. Chris Gayle didn't even really have to put any follow-through on his, and they were easily clearing the ropes.
Yeah, that's the truth. He properly flourished through that shot as well. The next he doesn't, and he draws back a little bit and he defends, and he's done all right. So again, Rashid back to his mark. He's not gone for that many still yet, and that's another dot ball to add to the tally, and he's doing all right. I mean, so far 10 balls and he's gone for 6. You take that. The run rate is still just 5.29. In the second power play, what will be a 42 over his side contest. This one, he gets a little edge. The man at a sort of deeper gully, if you like. And I don't know if he's sweating under that helmet. Looks like it. But apart from the ball in the slot, he's struggling to get the ball off the square, isn't he, to some degree? I mean, finding life tough then as the next he blocks away, and that's another dot ball. He went for 4 in that over, but there was a real good fight back there by Rashid.
Yeah, it was a good over that from Rashid. The one ball over pitched. There was a bit of a heave from Shai Hope to hit it for 4, but the rest of it was pretty much all on the money, and getting a little bit of spin. It's only gentle, sort of slow turn, but it's enough to just keep the batsman honest, and they know they can't take too many liberties against him. The lights are on now at Old Trafford. It's been that sort of day. The sun has been shining, but the clouds are mounting up, aren't they, to the side of the ground. I don't think there's any forecast of rain, but it is Manchester. Sun is still shining as well.
Yeah, there should be no chance of rain. Dry as a bone today. I'm not sure about Thursday. The second one day at Nottingham looks like it might be affected by rain. Anyway, we'll have a long time to ponder that today. We'll be here till 10 o'clock. Yeah. Here is Willey bowling again, and that one just doesn't carry. I mean, the false stroke there by the batsman, he may get 2 for that, but the man back with a point. Stokes there, he would have loved to have caught that, wouldn't he? Just didn't get to him.
Yeah, it would have been Samuels, wouldn't it?
I wonder if anybody's going to bother saluting on the way out or in this time around. Marlon then moves on to 5 from 6, and Willey then 0 for 30 after just 4.1 overs. The next delivery, decent. Samuels plays away and finds the fielder for nothing. So at Old Trafford, Jimmy Anderson end, or James Anderson. It seems weird that they call it James Anderson, and we all know him as Jimmy, don't we? And but I guess his mum will be pleased. Didn't christen him James to be called Jimmy, did she? Anyhow, I don't know which end Willey's bowling from, but in he comes again. Next delivery, a shot straight down the ground, but straight to the field. The Plunkett, I think it was, down there.
Yeah, we haven't seen any Plunkett yet, have we? England's probably, you'd say, fastest bowler along with Stokes. Stokes can bowl the odd rapid delivery, but
I think maybe taking the pace off the ball was a virtue today, wasn't it?
Certainly when Gayle was in it certainly was, yeah. Bowling it just up in the slot was just meat and drink for the big man, as it usually is.
Yeah, they've got the cricketing god off now, and the mortals are struggling, aren't they? As Willey bowls to Samuels. That was not a bad ball. I just wondered if he was going leg side, but then he had to play that. He slapped it off his hip and got nothing for it. I think that ball deceived him. It certainly did me.
He got onto him a little bit quicker than I think he thought, and just took him on the thigh pad. No chance of a run.
From his point of attack wider out, he thinks, well, it might be going down leg side. Then he finds he's actually got to play that one, but there's no bat pad there for a shorting catch or anything like it. But anyway, decent ball by Willey. Next delivery, and the right-handed batsman again finds Plunkett, who at mid-off, comfortable fielding from him, and Marlon is 5 from 10 now. Shai Hope 15 from 32, and it's an understatement to say that England have pulled it back a bit.
Absolutely, they have. They've got back in the game, and it looked like it was going to get away for them. But I say Chris Gayle always has that ability to get himself out.
Sure does. Next delivery, over pitched and wide. He flourishes through that, Samuels, but again he finds the fielder out in the deep on the boundary. They take a single, that's all. So 5 overs, not for 31. I think he'd be wanting to get rid of Willey's overs now. Resist that temptation of bowling him at the death. But anyway, an interesting game. 70 for 2. A bit like pulling teeth now after a lightning start. Just as well that Gayle was out relatively early, and it could have been a bit sooner, couldn't it? But yeah, it's been an interesting game, and I'm guessing that it'll be swinging this way and that before the day is out. There's Rashid bowls now, and well, that one slips out of his hand. It's a full toss, biffed away, but it's a good pick-up on the run by Bairstow, and stellar fielding that, and he reduces the damage there to just 1.
Yeah, he's helped out his fellow Yorkshireman, hasn't he, because that was a poor ball. As you say, it's not going to be easy for spinners when the wet outfield, and they could have hit it anywhere, but Bairstow quickly ran and keeps it just to a single.
So Rashid then back to his mark, bowling to Shai, and he just nudges that one away. Plunkett gives chase, but he's not going to pick it up. He'll leave it to Jonny Bairstow, who the most fleet-footed of the England fielders. And we're looking at Willey.
It's a knuckleball.
It is. What the benefit of bowling a ball like? Is he just taking the pace off it? Next delivery, and it's a good one. Gets Marlon Samuels sort of half a stride forward. He wasn't certain about that. He neither really forward or back there, but in the end he just about coped. Ball scraped off an edge. Next delivery, off the back foot then. Ball spins into him, and he'd given himself room to clip that away for a single. It wasn't a bad ball. And Rashid is fairly tight with his bowling. Like we said, there's always one that seems to slip away, slip out your hand if you're a leggy. Hopefully for him, he's already had that this over. Next delivery is in the slot, and that's swept away. Again, there's a man at the boundary, one arm to pick up. That's super fielding by Hales. Did they only just take 1 for that?
I'm not sure. I thought there should have been 2. I think it was just a single, wasn't it?
It's great fielding. One-handed pick-up on the run, and the throw-in. Immaculate from Hales. He's a tall guy, isn't he? But yeah, it was a good effort. Next ball, and it's a stride and a block. And so, yeah, Rashid's 3 overs have cost just 10. That's really good from the leg spinner.
Yeah, it certainly is. And England do now seem to have a grip on this game, don't they? They've removed the man that they wanted to.
I bet when Gayle was flinging the bat around, West Indies' price was short. Now I would reckon that England almost teetering on the brink of being favourites to go on and win it.
Well, they should be from this position, really, but they'll know what they've got to chase. It's a case of chasing it down. It'll be under lights. The ball will swing, and we've seen how the England side can capitulate. It's a very strong batting lineup, but if there are problems at the top of the order, then it can capitulate, and much depends on the usual suspects, really, of Stokes and Root and Alex Hales. You know, the captain himself, when he gets a bit between his teeth, is a tough customer to remove.
Yep. So yeah, Plunkett.
Plunkett pace.
Well, I've found watching him more recently is that he mixes it up an awful lot more than he used to do. Yeah, can still ball relatively quick, but I think he's a man with a few plans now. And he got an awful lot of wickets for England, and then seemingly they'd decided that they weren't going to bother with him in the Test arena, which I'm not entirely certain about. Probably more reliable seam options like Roland Jones, and then Woakes back probably too soon. But well, Plunkett, he's a good bowler, plenty of wickets. Also, he's a great batsman. Did he get 6 out final ball to get England a draw not so long back.
Sri Lanka, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, first delivery, and that one, again, a little nudge of the ball from Marlon Samuels. Now they do take the single off the poor throw. It's a costly misfield that from Ben Stokes.
Yeah, he's probably, the fact that Samuels was out there, wouldn't he? Thought he'd have a dash at the stumps. Can't often see Ben Stokes giving away anything in the field as a backhander.
And well, Marlon Samuels was comfortably in. Plunkett just thinks, don't give away singles off my bowling. Next delivery was short, and it's paddled to cow corner, and that will be 4 runs. It's another sit up and beg delivery, and it got what it deserved, really.
There's nothing for short on this pitch. There's no real pace in it. You could see that once it hit once it was banged in halfway down and hit the wicket, it just sat up to be hit, as you said, and it was so easy. In fact, the batsman was almost through the shot a bit too early. It was Shai Hope, and Shai Hope just smashed it over mid-wicket. It just shows how quickly he was onto it, the fact that he hit it so far in front of square.
Next delivery, better line and length. He used the pace of the ball to find the gap to third man boundary and takes a single. Bit of pressure off him with that poor ball that he managed to hit for 4.
Yeah, that's classic one-day play from Shai Hope. Hit your 4, dab the next one down to third man and get off strike. Let your partner have a go, and that's exactly what he's done. I mean, he was struggling, wasn't he? But now he's going along with 23 from 37, I think. So he's picking it up as well, isn't he, Shai Hope?
Yeah, I think class will out. Eventually, see it big enough, he'll pick up the pace. Next delivery, and sort of inside-out shot from Marlon, who finds the man at cover, and there is no run. Manufacture his shot a little bit. 81 for 2. West Indies after 15.5 overs. It's a 42 over a side contest after a late start because of a soggy outfield. We thought at one point they might not play next delivery, and well, that one seaming into the right hand. He deals with that well and digs it out for a single, Marlon Samuels. That's the end of the over. 82 for 2. The run rate 5.13. Been coming down for a while now.
8 off that one though from Plunkett, so not the best to open up.
He looked just a bit rusty there, didn't he? And
a little bit, yeah.
One short ball didn't help him out, did it? Maybe he learnt his lesson off that. Well, I'd look out to the Pennine and see that the weather actually is all right over the tops, and yeah, quite unusual for the time of year. Nice dry day, but we suspect that Nottingham on Thursday will be a little bit wet. Good ball from Rashid. Good line and length. Samuels back in his crease there, and had to fend off his chest a little bit there. Didn't quite know what to do with that. There's Rashid. Next delivery, and he's pitched it up. Clipped away nicely by Marlon Samuels, but is that man deeper, Chris Woakes? There is 2 for it. That was a decent shot. Samuels 12 from 20. Beginning to get there. A slow start for this pair, but they're both classy batsmen, and you don't feel that they'll be snailing along for too long. Next ball, it's a beauty. Hits the pads, a big appeal. Imploring. They've got to review that, surely. That looked as close as. But what's Morgan thinking?
Maybe has he got a little inside edge on it, because to me that was going on to hit the stumps.
Well, if it wasn't I mean, Rashid's got to be having a word there, doesn't he? Didn't look like there was any bat on it, did it?
No, there was a second it may have been like a little bit off stumpish, maybe. They're thinking it might have turned away possibly, but it looked good first up, didn't it?
Next delivery, and that one's blocked by Marlon Samuels' stride. So a little bit of drama out there. They might just show us in a second how close that one was, and whether Eoin Morgan should have reviewed it. Rashid now pitches one up. Give it plenty of flight, that, and again, because he's playing deep in his crease, he doesn't take a benefit out of that. I would think the ball has scraped the pad before bat for that last LB shout.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? It's almost simultaneous, but it's tough to call.
Next delivery, ball a little bit short to Samuels, deep in his crease again, leans back and can just prod a single there. No great harm done there, really. 4 overs, not for 13, and Adil Rashid is keeping it tight. Good spell from him. And well, they might want to show us that LB appeal again, whether it was going to go on and hit if they felt that the bat wasn't scraping it. Looked to me pad before bat. Anyway, it doesn't look like we're going to get another look at that. So we see a host of kids playing footy in the background. And well, across the stadium not too far away. They humbled Everton at the weekend.
Yeah, it's more football weather at the moment, isn't it, really? Than cricket weather. As we're pushing on towards October.
Seems weird still to be playing cricket, doesn't it? But
yeah, you can see the players. I'm sure they enjoy it playing in this sort of temperatures, because it's going to be very cool later when the sun goes down, isn't it?
No, not half. Anyway, Plunkett, second over, first cost a few, 8. Ball into Marlon Samuels, pitches it up. He digs it out, but finds the fielder, Moeen Ali. I mean, that's it. The two shouldn't. I don't think should overlap over here. A lot of the lads who play cricket also play football, and when the cricket season stops, or when the football season starts, they just start playing football. You know, so it doesn't seem natural. Anyway, Plunkett back in for his second delivery of the over to Marlon. It was going down leg side. I think that was leg buys, isn't it? I'm not sure he got any bat on that. 86 for 2. And yeah, the game is poised, but the run rate now is below 5 and over. So that's good news.
Yeah, it's incredible how they've turned it around, England, haven't they, from almost 10 and over.
Next delivery, and that's picked up nicely. Hit toward cow corner again, and it'll be another 4. Another one banged in short. Poor delivery.
Yeah, he's got to learn his lesson, Plunkett. This is not the sort of track where he's going to get anything for banging it in short. He's going to get smashed around the ground. He's got to keep it just short of a length, another yard or so up, because once it goes down like that, I mean, you can just see the time the batsman had. I mean, again, he hasn't timed that to perfection at all. He's got that sort of higher up on the bat as well, but he's got enough on it to sort of muscle it over the infield, and 4 more runs. Plunkett's got to make an adjustment here.
Yeah, you would think so. So anyway, next delivery, and pitched up, dug out, single, throw at the stumps, and I think he only just missed. I think he was in. I think he was in just about. More than just about, comfortably in. Backing up was decent for England, so worth the throw from Moeen. 91 for 2, run rate 5.15, a flurry off Plunkett. Like I said, he's a man with several plans at the minute, Tillian Plunkett. As this one's good line and length, that's a good plan. Seaming in at 87 miles an hour. It's a good delivery and hard to deal with, just good line and length.
Yeah, it was, and that's all he's got to do, really, isn't it? The odd slower ball thrown in, as you say, is a good variation. He's already found out the short ball is not going to be beneficial today. Be interesting to see if the West Indies try any of those shorter balls, because England have got some pretty attacking batsmen in their ranks too.
Next delivery, well, some more of the same, really. That one seems in, or if it doesn't, it's straight in. But it's tucking up the right-handed batsman, and it doesn't really give him room to do anything except fend off, and that didn't cost anything. So good fight back, I guess, by Plunkett.
Yeah, he's conceded those couple of 4s, hasn't he, so far, and both of those have been from the short ball. So hopefully the Durham stroke Yorkshireman will have learnt, because he is an important member of this side. I'm sure we're going to see Ben Stokes soon. Well, I think they'll keep Rashid going for a while longer, as he has been doing a good job. 0 for 13 from 4 is a very good return.
So Rashid to carry on then. 19th over of the contest is well, he's Just prodded away for a single. Slightly overpitched again, I would have said. And he puts Marlon Samuels on strike. I'm sure that Stokes would like to bowl at Marlon. That might happen. Batsman dances down only to scrape the ball away for what might be 2 runs. Ball to Plunkett. In fact, they only took a single there. Didn't want to chance their respective arms. So next delivery, decent line of length, but plenty of time for the batsman. Slightly off balance to clip it through leg side for Hales to pick up deep mid wicket. Well, and Samuels 14 from 29. Shai Hope 30 from 41. They've not exactly plodded. There's this next delivery, full toss. It's hit toward Roy. It's a good stop by him.
Is it subfielder, is he?
Yeah, he.
Who's he on for?
Not certain, but it's Jonny Bairstow opening the batting today. Next delivery again, hit to Joe Root at mid on. Next delivery, and squirts off the edge of the bat, but straight to Moeen at that deeper gully position, and another dot ball. 5 overs and on for 16.
Very good bowling. They can't get the ball away from them, can they, at the moment? It's all, when they are trying to force it, it's finding fielders, and the fielders are backing up the bowler very well. And it's tough going for the West Indies, especially against Rashid. If it hadn't been for Plunkett dropping those 2 short, it wouldn't have been boundage for a long time. Hope's got 30 from 41 and Samuels 14 from 32. So these 2 building a partnership after Gayle and Lewis had gone. But you'd have to say, I mean, you don't know what a good score is, of course, on this pitch until England have batted as well. But very much even Stevens. They're still batting to come, but England pulling things back nicely. 94 for 2 is solid, but no more from the West Indies. And 5 bowlers used so far by England. And we are going to see Ben Stokes, and he's going to be bowling to Shai Hope first up. And very soon he'll be bowling to his nemesis, Marlon Samuels.
Yeah, I'm sure there might be a few tee-hee-hee moments coming up, but
he's got a bit to prove in one-day cricket. An average of over 6 is sorry, an economy rate of over 6, I should say. That's not great for one-day cricket.
No, you're looking at below 5, really, aren't you? Next delivery's a bit short. Batsman gets on top, gets a single, and here we go. Here's the contest right here. Marlon Samuels against Ben Stokes. Not all about them, of course, but they've got a bit of previous, and I'm sure Stokes would love to get him.
Well, there might be a few more miles per hour on this one. You never know. We'll have to watch the speed gun.
Or a few less.
Yeah.
Who knows? It's be a game of poker, but I'd rather play poker against Stokes than Marlon Samuels, I think. Right, this delivery, just use the pace of the ball, prod it down to the 3rd man boundary. Stokes ignores him, walks back to his mark. The 2 ignore each other, great.
Yeah.
How long will that continue?
Subplot in the game. I would say that I think Samuels has won most of their battles so far, hasn't he? It's been a bit one-sided.
Yeah, for me, Ben Stokes, a great cricketer, may not be the sharpest tool in the England toolbox. Anyway, next delivery. That was seaming into right hand and missed times his shot and gets nothing for it. Looks at his bat.
Yeah, but it's shaping out to be a decent innings this from Hope, isn't it? 31 from 43. He's holding things together, which is what he's got to. 15 from 33 for Samuels, doing a similar job. I just feel the acceleration will come at some stage. Still 22 overs to go after this one.
Ben Stokes running in hard, and well, that one similar delivery to the last, slightly over pitched and prodded away. Hales fields at the boundary, just a single. Another chance to deliver to Samuels, who the first ball he faced just very comfortably used to pace the ball. Anyway, it always tickles me watching the salute.
He's pulled out of one, isn't he? He's having a go already.
Yeah,
Stokes was about to bowl, and Samuels has pulled away and pointed something behind just to start. He started it, it's off. There was absolutely nothing wrong there. That was pure mind games, and I wonder how Stokes is going to respond. He won't take it lying down, will he?
Well, I don't know. Be interesting. What do you do now? When he tilts, you get a short ball. He's able to hit it for 4. What does he do then, Ben Stokes? He bowls it wide down leg side. Marlon tried to strangle it down there. He could have got out to that ball, but surely that was signalled wide. I'm sure it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So
again, it's 1 up to Samuels, isn't it? He's done him already. Put him off his line.
Yeah, it's funny, but Stokes has got a chance to hit back.
Will he get the last laugh? We shall see.
Comes running in, and that's a short ball that Samuels ducks under. He wanted to take his head off there. Nothing too cultured about that. There'll be a bit of chuntering going on in the crowd, won't there? Quite an atmosphere as these two. And Samuels doesn't look at him after the short ball, just ignores him. Stokes has got 1 ball left of the over. Samuels is 15 from 34. Oh, and he's bamboozled him with a slow ball, attempted Yorker, but he was a bit wide out. However, he did Marlon a little bit with that last ball.
He certainly did. It was a slower ball, and Samuels went for the drive, but it just wasn't quite there, was it? It was a very full ball, as you said, and it was a moral victory to the Englishman. There hasn't been many of those against Samuels, who's a cracking batsman. I believe that's your stint over, young man, isn't it?
Sure is. Tired now. I'm going to lie down.
Yeah, you're going to lie down. I shall take you through now to the 30 over mark, which will be basically, after that, it'll be the business end of proceedings. When it's 12 overs to go after that, it'll just be biff, baff, whatever you'd imagine.
Boff, I think, is the next one.
It might be. Liam Plunkett, 0 for 13, is going to continue. From 2 overs, that is. So they're holding Rashid back a little bit for later on, because he looks like he has got the Indian sign over the West Indians. And it's going to be Liam Plunkett. So he's coming steaming in now, bowling to Shai Hope, who just chops this down to, well, he was trying to chop it down to 3rd man, but he just got it a little bit too high on the bat, so it drops down by his feet and trickles down to where a short 2nd slip would be. And there is no run rate of 4.86, as we see shots of the sky, which has got plenty of blue at the moment. White fluffy cloud, which is the good cloud, so I'm told, is all around the ground, and the sun is shining. The shadows are out there, so it's good news at the moment as Plunkett comes in, and all he bowls a good ball. This has Hope tucked up on and around off stump. He's looking to score off every ball, so he was sort of moving around the crease, but at the end he had to jab down it quite late, but managed to squirt it out to backward point for no run. A few little dark clouds out there, aren't there? But they're not really, they don't look that threatening to me. I'm not a meteorologist, but I'm just saying.
Very high, those clouds.
Oh, they are. So 3rd ball of the over for Plunkett, who is going to concede a single here, just to deep backward square leg. In fact, they might come back for 2. They don't. There were thoughts of it, but the fielder was in and released the ball very quickly from deep backward square leg. It was Hales out there, who we're looking forward to seeing batting later. He's in tremendous form. 99 for 2 now, so the West Indies very close to these 3 figures. It's all gone a bit quiet at the moment. So Plunkett then, big man, powerful, and he comes. Oh, this has been spooned away leg side. It's close to the man, Joe Root at mids on, but it's going to be a single only. That will be the 100 up for West Indies, but that was the shot we see Chris Gayle play, and because he's such a big and powerful man, he gets away with it. And that one, Samuels almost didn't. He spooned it really off the high on the bat, and it was going towards the mid-on man. It wasn't a catch, it landed before him, but it certainly was a false shot from Marlon Samuels, who now rehearses the shot he wanted to play. He's 16 from 35, so he's not going along at the great rate of knots as Plunkett comes in and bowls the ball, which again is angled in towards middle stump to Shai Hope, who just dabs it down leg side for no run, remains on 33. So these two batsmen at the moment nowhere near a strike rate of 100. They're way down, but you just get the feeling that there's plenty more to come from these two, especially if they can stay another 5 or 6 overs. As we get towards the business end of this innings, there will be some extravagant shots played. Hope waits now. In comes Plunkett once again, and this is leg side. It's just taking them on the thigh pad. They're after 2 here, 2 leg buys, but they won't get it. And that's a good piece of fielding, I think, by Adil Rashid down there at short fine leg. And it has been now called as leg buys. Plunkett finishes his 3rd over. He has conceded 15 runs from them, and the run rate at 4.81. West Indies 101 for 2.
So interesting. I mean, they're putting the building blocks in place, these two. Clearly, over the long haul, yeah, they wanted to get to a flying start, but then it becomes more sedate. Run rate less than 5. However, these two guys will put, like we said, building blocks in place. When they get to about 10 or 15 overs out, you can expect them to go for blood. You know, it's an interesting contest where we've got Stokes bowling at Marlon Samuels, but we haven't quite seen the fireworks yet. 2 wickets for England, and the important ones are the 2 openers. And now they could do with dislodging another. They're just getting settled in, the batsmen now, you feel.
Yeah, Shai Hope on 33 certainly is. Stokes comes in, and this is just guided down to backward point. There was thoughts of a run, but they won't get it, as the fielding is done very sharply. Stokes is warming to his task now. 4 runs he's conceded from 7 deliveries. We're in the 22nd over now. There are only 42 per side because of a delay, a lengthy delay due to a wet outfield. We were due to start at 12:30. Started at 2:30 then, wasn't it? I think. Stokes in, bowls a slower ball. It's wide, and playing a miss from Hope. And then I think he looks in hope at the umpire that he might get a wide for it, but he doesn't, because I think he's played over the top of this. It was out of the back of the hand from Stokes, and it was a strange looking shot. It was almost like a paddle shot, wasn't it? It was outside the off stump, and somehow he almost tried to get that to leg side. It was a dreadful looking swat, really. But anyway, not a good ball, not a good shot. This one is a similar delivery, but it's again a play and a miss, wide of off stump, and Hope's just all at sea at the moment against Stokes.
Yeah, I mean, these are poor balls, really, but in a sense, you ain't going to get a wicket with it. But full and wide is what he probably should have done to West Indies quite some time ago, when England might have won a trophy. But there we go.
Comes in once again, and this is more leg side. He's been tucked away. Nice looking shot, just a little dab off the legs, out to deep mid wicket. And there'll only be a single though, as it's straight to the boundary rider out there. Stokes now back to his mark. He knows that he's got to bowl to his nemesis, Marlon Samuels. No histrionics yet, but we're only in the first throws of the first game. There's plenty of scope for that in the next 4. Here he comes in, and Stokes bowls. It's a slower ball, and it beats him. He tries to dab it down to 3rd man, but can't get anything on that. And it just bounces a couple of times before it's taken by Joss Buttler behind the stumps. Certainly bowling a box of tricks at the moment, back of the hand, front of the hand. That one actually came in like a bit of an off break, really, and Samuels was nowhere near it. Final ball, what's it going to be? Full pace. That's what I'd bowl now, because he's used to the variations. Hit him with a straight and fast one, and it's a bouncer. Oh, it's a good bouncer. It has Samuels up on his toes and just gloving it down to the offside, via somewhere on his anatomy, and that is the end of the over. I think we're going to have some drinks and some bananas, because the umpire, Rob Bailey, is the 3rd umpire, is bringing out some refreshments for the umpires, and the players will have a drink as well.
Yeah, so a little bit of a break. They've been hard at it for quite some time now, but the game is interesting right now. I think we're both enjoying what's going on out there, and the 2 teams having a good go, but I think for me, England's still just about on top. There is so much big batting to come though from West Indies, and like we said, once they get down to the point where they press the button, you go back into T20 slog out mode, and we know that they can be strong finishers. You know, do you respect England to bowl well at them at the death? not necessarily if they're bowling Willey at them. I mean, out of the bowlers that we've got, I'm not sure who actually would be bowling at the death. Maybe Woakes.
Well, I'll tell you what, Woakes is a good one, but I would even throw in Rashid into the mix there. They couldn't get away, could they? And on this sort of surface and with the conditions, it might not be a bad shout to have the spinner bowling, because they'll have to put the pace on the ball themselves, and we've seen that can be the downfall of a batsman on many occasions. But that remains to be seen. We're still a little bit away from that at the moment. We're 22 overs gone, 20 to go. These two who are building, well, it would be silly now if they threw it away. One of these has got to go pretty much all the way through, you'd think, to the last 3 or 4, and let some of the ones, the batsmen, are still to come in to have a bit of a club at the ball. Yeah, it's an interesting game so far. It's ebbed and flowed. Of course, at the start we thought that Chris Gayle would get a fly. He usually does, but once he was dismissed for 37 and was picking up maybe a slight tweak in his hamstring. I don't think it was too serious, but he certainly went for a single and pulled up slightly lame. But not before he'd clubbed a few sixes around the ground. 3, I think.
Yep, just a 3. Caught the eye though, didn't they? And 2 of them were off the bowling of Willey. 1 off Woakes. Not too many 4s either though, really, since then. The game's been more sedate since Shai and Marlon Samuels have got to the crease.
Good catch from Joe Root to get rid of Gayle. And dropped him earlier on in the piece. So Mohammed and Powell the next 2 in, and the skipper Holder. And we're down to the tail, or the lower middle order, let's call them that. Well, the extras are now clearing off the outfield to leave the just the players on there. Moeen just 2 overs for 5 did okay, didn't as well, took that wicket, albeit from a poor ball. But there's options there, isn't there, also for the captain Eoin Morgan. 102 for 2. Looks like we're pretty much ready to go. And it's going to be Liam Plunkett who will continue after the drinks break.
I mean, I think you'd have to bowl out Rashid and Ali today, and I'd make sure that you do that sooner rather than later. Then you can toy around with your order as you get to the nitty gritty, you know.
You certainly can. As there are options, and the first ball after the break is a good one from Plunkett. It has Hope just jumping around his crease and just jabbing the ball down to backward point. There is no run. Seeing shots of Chris Gayle sat up there on the balcony with a towel around him, probably to keep himself warm, I'd imagine. Munching on something. His work today is done. I'm not sure whether he'll be fielding if he's got a hamstring problem. Plunkett in once again. Big man, and he's just forces a backward forcing shot from Hope, who will just get a single. A good looking shot though. It's one of those that has become his trademark, where he's not a big man, but he just gets up on his toes and just punches it off the back foot into that area. Someone's thrown some food on for Jonny Bairstow, who's picked it up off the floor and started eating it, which is a strange procedure, but sure that's what I'll be doing. Anyway, here comes Plunkett once again. Bowls a bouncer, it's a good one too, it's quick, and it may have only said 80 miles an hour on the speed gun. That's quite often it does distort it when it's a shorter ball, and that had the batsman really swaying out of the way at the last minute. He bent his back there, did the Yorkshire fast bowler, and that had Marlon Samuels having to drop his hands rather rapidly, and Buttler taking it on the rise. So Samuels knows that Plunkett is around. 103 for 2. England not letting the West Indies get away at all. Short ball again, and he's always gone for a swish here. There's a half appeal. I don't think he's got anything on that. Samuel sort of looks at Buttler, who appealed to say, what on earth are you talking about? And there was no chance, but that's one for the over called now. Again a short ball, and well, he's lucky to get away with it, because I fancied that might have been just above his head. It was tight, wasn't it? Very tight.
Yeah, close that, but
the bowlers do tend to get the benefit in those circumstances. Well, certainly there shouldn't be any more short balls now, because he's bowled it so Samuels can wait on the front foot a little bit more, which he does, but he can't get this away. It's a slower ball from Plunkett. It's chopped away to backward point, And Samuel's a bit frustrated here. He's finding the field, and that can lead to a wicket if it frustrates the batsman. Went to Stokes so Stokes have been very happy to stop him getting runs there.
Well, he's looking to pick up the pace, but he's 16 from 41. But I think getting frustrated now, he can't just press the accelerator when he wants.
No, he can't. England are bowling very well at him. And here comes Plunkett once again. Oh, this is another good ball. It's a slow ball, I think, angled in. No, it was a full speed delivery, about 81. But he just the angle of the ball. I think he saw Samuel's backing away, and he's followed him. And all he can do is put it on the offside for no runs. So yeah, Samuels really isn't. He's struggling out there, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean he is, but I think they're bowling quite cleverly to him. Everything seems to be in his body and tucking him up, doesn't it? So they're looking to follow him. Really,
he's just got no room at all to free his hands, has he? And 16 from 47. That's more like Test match. Well, that would actually be quite slow for a Test match. And we're on a one-dayer, which has got reduced overs. So England bowling very well at Samuels, and whether it's Stokes or the rest of the side, they are certainly winning the battle. But it's Shai who's doing okay at the moment, 35 from 55. He's now facing up to Stokes, and this is a good ball that's gone underneath the bat at 85 miles an hour and through to the keeper for no run. England really are stifling them. I mean, it seems like a long time ago they've actually scored a run, 103 for 2. What were we at drinks? 100, 102, 101, something like that? Or?
Yeah, they're not really progressing at all. All the run rate has done is come down for the longest time. Now it's less than 4.5.
Yeah, it's incredible really how England have fought back. They are bowling well, it has to be said. Here comes Stokes once again, and this is a nice shot though. Is there going to be a man out there? Oh, he's got him! It's a cracking catch. It's Jonny Bairstow, and it is Shai who's gone. It was a short ball, and Hope had a go at it. Say the run rate's been stifled. He felt he had to have a go at it. He pretty much middled it, I would say, but it didn't roll his wrist. It went up, and he's found a man, Jonny Bairstow, who was at deep backward square leg. And I tell you what, it's a decent catch. He's not wearing the gloves today. And let's have a look at this on replay. Oh, it's a cracking catch. It's above his head, diving to his right, and he takes the applause of the crowd. And that is a fantastic catch by the Yorkshireman and England wicketkeeper, who today, of course, is in the outfield, showing that he's an all-rounder in more sense of the word.
Yeah, what a catch that was from the Bradfordian. Bradford's finest. I mean, he's on his tippy toes, arms right over his head, and it's almost like he's got the gloves on, because that ball just nestles in his hand. It was flying over his head, and then he's cool as a cucumber, isn't he? He takes a look at the crowd. Thanks for the apple you've just thrown on. How do you like them apples? And it was a terrific catch, and that's the wicket that they wanted, because I think that they're tying up Marlon Samuels. All those balls that are seaming into his body, he just can't seem to get the ball away. And I also thought that because they'd got him tied down, it meant that Shai Hope as well was just thinking, we're not cracking on. That was a bit of a desperate shot, really. He was never in balance for that shot. He took a risk, and he might have got away with it on another day. It might have sailed over Jonny Bairstow's head, but he didn't. And that was a good catch.
Yeah, it was. It's really, I suppose something had to give, because the West Indies were going nowhere, albeit a decent partnership, but certainly one that wasn't that productive in terms of strike rate. And Jason Mohammed out now, who best of 91, but only pretty much starting his career, 374 ODI runs, so it's not the sort of batsman who's going to strike fear into the England bowlers' hearts. And I was talking of striking, and Ben Stokes has struck, albeit via a very decent catch by Bairstow. So Stokes and to Samuels. They did cross then. Oh, and it's gone past the outside edge there, and Samuels looking to work it offside, plays and misses. And another good moral victory for the Durham man. More and more we look at this catch, the better it gets, actually, isn't it? It's a really good diving catch from Bairstow, who tumbles to the ground afterwards, takes the applause of the England faithful. And that's the end of hope. So this one is outside the off stump, and Mohammed has a look at it, watches it go by 88 miles an hour, and that's what he can do. He can certainly crank it up, can Ben Stokes, when he wants to. That's a very good over.
I mean, the wicket he's got, the batsman's fetching it from offside to leg side. When he has to pivot like that, he should be rolling his wrist. Steve Smith does a lot of that. but he slaps it down into the deck when he's going that way round. That spooned up in the air. I thought it was a bit of a desperate shot, really.
It was. The next one, though, isn't. It's a single, as Mohammed just gets off the mark by putting it leg side. He's on one. Marlon Samuels is playing a strange innings, it has to be said. 16 from 42. They're bowling very well at him. They know what he's all about, moving around the crease and giving himself room. But they're just not allowing him to settle at all, and Stokes won't do that at all either as well. They're putting a slip in now. Final ball of the Stokes over. He's got 1 for 6 there. England are going on the attack here, 104 for 3. The score is going nowhere. Joe Root goes into the first slip area. Here comes Stokes. It's a short ball, it's a good ball. And it has Samuel sort of defending, but it's open to debate whether he actually played his shot. But it goes past the bat and into the gloves of Jos Buttler. So, cracking over, wicket taken. West Indies, I reckon now, are just faltering a little bit here, aren't they? 104 for 3.
Yeah, what was a great start has absolutely petered out to nothingness, and you know, the run rate now is 4.36. And the thing is, it's not as if you can't hit the ball hard and time it and hit it over the rope today. We've seen that happen. I mean, it isn't so much. I mean, Gayle doesn't have to time everything perfectly to do that, but he showed the possibility of that happening. And you know, don't tell me the Hales can't do that, or Buttler, or you know, several of the England players. If it's about more quality in the batting line, if it's a bit more difficult than it looks, then England probably have the batsmen to cope with that as well.
Here comes Liam Plunkett, and this is wide above stump. Is he going to get away with this? And it's quite wide, but
I mean, it's within tram lines. I think that's a good delivery.
It is. No, it is a good delivery. You're right, but some umpires, you know, they are quite strict on that. But clearly, Plunkett is okay bowling there. 104 for 3. It's just going nowhere, isn't it? They're just absolutely just becalmed.
It's like us, going nowhere, becalmed.
Yeah, for a long while now. Here comes Plunkett, and Mohammed is up on the back foot, trying to spoon it leg side for maybe a couple, but gets it very high. The batters, the ball's onto him quicker than he thought, and it just trickles out to very short mid wicket for no run. He just cannot get this ball off the square, and the England fielding has been good too. There's been some excellent stops. We've seen that one drop catch, but also a couple of good catches as well. And Plunkett is certainly hitting his straps now. 0 for 16 he's got, and then again it's a defensive shot only for Mohammed.
Yeah, do you know what? He started off very sort of ponderous, Plunkett, a few different kinds of deliveries, but he's got it seaming into the right-handers and tying them up, and they're really struggling to get the ball off the square. I think he's got control of what he's doing, Plunkett, which is something that when he was bowling super rapid in his young career, I don't think he necessarily had, but it's all good from England's point of view.
Yeah, I thought he was brought into the England side before he was ready. It was after the breakup of that 2005 Ashes winning quartet. The next ball was left alone by Mohammed. He was thrust in on a tour to, I think it was either Pakistan or India, I can't remember which one it was, when there were injuries, and he just wasn't ready. He was only a 20-year-old lad then, I think, maybe even 19, but he's matured into a very good bowler. I think his test career has come and gone. Suffered with injury as well when he was back in the test match side. I'm just seeing there, I didn't see that on the actual live coverage, but he took a tumble there after after that last delivery, and I think he's all right. Jonny Bairstow having a bit of banter with the rest of it, with some of the crowd, having a banana down there wherever he's fielding. Deep backward square leg, I think. So 104 for 3. In comes Plunkett. This is pushed into the offside, and finally we get a run. It's Mohammed who will get one out to, actually just out to Jonny Bairstow, who's fielding at deep point. One side, deep backward square leg, the other side, of course. Run rate 4.23. I have to say it's pretty woeful after the start they got. If they hadn't had Gayle at the start, if he'd been out for naught as he could have been, dropped by Root, I mean, what would the score be now? I mean, it's
I think that maybe it would have worked out differently. They would have known that they didn't have the buffer of the good start. You know, I think that's lulled them into a bit of false security, really.
This one is clopped away down to third man. It's one bounce, two bounce into the hands of Moeen Ali, and just a single. Marlon Samuels just dawdles along to 17 from 44, and he'll be the one who's facing up to Ben Stokes next over, if they keep Stokes on, which they should do. Can't see a reason to make a change at the moment, because England have got a stranglehold on this West Indies innings. It will be Ben Stokes to continue. TV pictures still showing the moments in the West Indies where Marlon Samuels saluted as Ben Stokes came past with his hat off, and I think Ben Stokes just made a few little comments to him. Wasn't that bothered. Anyway, Stokes now to Samuels, and it's England who are winning the battle at the moment. Samuels will not get a single here as Stokes is right on the money again, and the throw comes in for an attempted run out. I think Samuels was back, but it was another good ball which had the batsman just defending it.
Yeah, I mean, they've showed us a million times Marlon Samuels saluting, haven't they? But you've got to let your cricket do the talking for you, I think.
Well, you haven't, and to be fair, Samuels has done so far, hasn't he? Against Stokes and against England, he's been England's nemesis as well. At the moment, Stokes, that's going to be called a wide, I'm pretty sure. 106 goes to 107, it is, that's too wide. That was a full pace delivery from Stokes outside the tram lines.
Yeah, taking evasive action there. Stokes just wanting too much off that, going too wide. Haven't seen too much of Jason Mohammed in his career. 30 years of age now, no young kid from Trinidad, right-hand batsman.
Here comes Stokes again. This is down the leg side. This could be they're calling here for a caught behind.
And what's he giving? He's
giving a wide, so they doesn't think there's anything on there.
Right, well, we'll review it if he thinks he's hit it. It might have hit the pad on the way through.
Oh, they're going to review it.
Right, he's either strangled it down leg side or it's clipped him on the thigh pad, but what it is Butler's heard a noise.
Yeah.
So they're reviewing it. But
I wonder if it hits his thigh pad and it proves it, can they take away the wide? Because obviously it should just be a delivery, shouldn't it?
Exactly.
I don't know this. Can they do it?
I don't think they can.
No, I think they have to stick with the umpire's decision, don't they? Even though it might have hit the... let's have a look at this. It is... It's nowhere near, is it? Or is it? I don't know.
Well, it's not near his thigh pad, is it?
So, gloves. We need to see hot spot here. We can't tell at the moment.
Well, if it's a glance, it's off the underside of his glove, isn't it?
He's out.
He's out.
It's off the glove. So it is. He's got him. He's been strangled, and there's a little clip on alter edge, little oscillation, and this decision is going to be overturned, and he is caught behind. That's a very good review. Hasn't been many of those from England this summer, but this is a good one. And I'm pretty sure that umpire Robinson is going to reverse his decision here, and it's going to be all over. And I think Marlon Samuels knows it because he's walking off.
I bet he felt it on the glove.
Yeah,
I bet as soon as the review came in, he's thinking, "Oh dear, I've had it here."
Stokes has got his man from a dreadful delivery.
Yeah, from a leg side wide, but he strangled it down leg side, and he chased after it. He just caught it with the underside of the knuckle of his glove, and he's gone. You sort of hope that it's not going to show on hotspot, or it's not apparent, but that the noise thing, that is just incredible what that picks up, and of course when you see the noise register, it cannot be anything else because the ball was that far away from his thigh pad. Sometimes you think, oh, it's the sound of it hitting his pocket or his hip on the way through, but it just couldn't be that. So there you go. I mean, he was struggling, let's face it. So, not necessarily a bad thing for the Windies that he's out, really. They've got plenty more batsmen to come, and it's about time somebody started hitting it who's in a bit better form. It wasn't his day today, was it?
It certainly wasn't, and as you say, that's not a good innings. England bowled very well at Samuels. It was, he's really has won the battle with England over the years, but not on that occasion. They were all over him. They weren't allowing to settle at all. He couldn't get the ball off to square, and in the end Stokes has got his man. So you'd have to say that two pretty poor balls have got 2 wickets for Stokes. A poor ball for Moeen got a wicket as well, so the West Indies have hung themselves to a certain extent here. But Rovman Powell, I have to say I know absolutely nothing about him. John, got any information on Mr. Rovman?
Yeah, I'll tell you all you need to know about Rovman Powell. I can't believe you don't know who Rovman Powell is, because for me, the Jamaican, only 24 years of age, everybody surely knows about Rovman. Batsman, right-hand bat.
We know that. 2 for 7 Stokes, and this is a good ball outside the off stump, left alone by Rovman.
Medium-fast bowler, so and only his 9th game, averaging 19 in ODIs, and fairly moderate stats, really. Dare I say a make weight, but an all-rounder. Plays for the Talawars. Domestically T20, and had got 28 at Chesterley Street.
Next ball is a good one again from Stokes, who's really bending his back, and it has Powell up on his toes